Alright, what's up, everybody? Back with another episode of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good day today. Today's episode, I'm giving predictions that I have for the second half of the season. It starts today. While you're watching this, probably watching this the day after because I'm recording this later, Thursday, so you're probably gonna see this Friday. And yeah, these are my personal opinion. A little disclaimer: these are my personal opinions, and what I think can happen. I'm not rooting for these. There's some on here that are negative towards teams, and I'm not negatively rooting for teams or rooting against players or anything like that. I'm just being honest. That's all I'm doing, and it's just all for fun. None of these could be true for all that matter, and I wouldn't care if any of them are true. If all of them are true, then still, I mean, cool, but don't care that much. But it's just a little fun we're doing here. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. My first prediction for the second half of the season: the Toronto Raptors figure it out. Now, when I say figure it out, I don't mean they're gonna go on a nine-game winning streak and be like the sixth or seventh seed or anything like that. No, I think they figure it out in a sense of they stay in the play-in. They probably maybe get like an eighth seed at the highest in the Eastern Conference, and they look a lot better in the second half of the season. The last few games before All-Star break, they look pretty solid. Pascal Siakam's playing really good. They just got Jakob Poeltl in there. He's been solid. Fred VanVleet's starting to find his shot. OG Anunoby's going to be back soon for them. I think this Raptors team can go on a pretty solid run in the second half of the season to lock in a play-in spot. Well, now will it make the playoffs? That's another whole different story. But I think for the second half of the year, they're going to be very good. Well, not very good, but they're going to be good enough where they're going to lock in a play-in spot. Um, I think they did that last year. Last year they were very solid. They were in the play-in, around the play-in. And the second half of the year, all of a sudden they jumped up to 5 in the East. I think something not that big, but something very similar can happen this year, where they're like been around 10, 11 all season, and then second half of the year they jump up to like 8. And are in contention for a playoff spot and get that 8 seed, which I think could happen. I definitely think they can get the 8 seed easily. They just got to be solid. Right now they're 28 and 31. They're 10th in the Eastern Conference. They're a half game behind Washington for the 9th spot. They won in the All Star on a 2-game win streak. Yeah, I think this Raptors team is gonna come out with a lot more energy, a lot more aggression in the second half of the year. And if they can show up and just be solid, they don't have to go. They don't have to win 80% of their games, but if they could just be good enough, win like 50 something percent of their games second half of the year, they're locked into the play-in. I feel like. Yeah, that's a little bit of a lighter one, but still, I think that's gonna happen. They've been kind of a disappointment all year. A lot of you know questions about them. A lot of kind of encore issues of like them not fitting well together. But I think second half of the year they're gonna be a lot better, and they're gonna get that play-in spot. My second hot take is about the Dallas Mavericks, and this one is the Dallas Mavericks kind of slide a little bit in the second half. Now, when I say slide, I don't mean they're gonna lose 6, 7 games in a row and fall down out of the play-in, but I don't think the Mavericks are gonna be great the second half of the year. They lost their first few games with Luka and Kyrie together on the court, and I think they're gonna lose a few more, especially with how tight the Western Conference is. They're gonna probably start playing a lot more Western Conference teams that are fighting in position with them. And I think they're going to be kind of just okay second half of the season. They're not going to shine, but they're not going to be straight up horrible. They're going to be just okay. And probably be a playing team. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a playing team in the Western Conference, because it's just going to be very hard adjusting with Luka, Kyrie, and no one else out there. Not really anyone else that you can consistently trust on a night-to-night basis to hit shots. And with the Kyrie trade, they lost their best defender in Dorian Finney-Smith, and that's a big hole on their team. Josh Green's are doing very solid. Josh Green's having a really good year, but still, you need some defense out there, and we don't know when Maxi Kleber's going to be back. Hopefully he's back soon, because he's a big piece in their defense as well. They didn't make any moves to the trade deadline to pick up any more defenders. So, yeah, this team's going to definitely kind of struggle a little bit, I feel like, in the second half of the season, and they're going to just kind of slide their way into the playing, which in the playing, I think they're going to win the playing, because they have Luka and Kyrie, and if you need a one win, Luka and Kyrie can get you one win. You know. And the crazy thing is, I was thinking about this. I said this to my dad the other day. I was like, it's crazy because going into the playoffs, the Mavericks aren't going to be probably a top four unless they go on a really good run in the second half of the year, which could happen, but I don't think it will. Unless they finish top four, they're probably going to be somewhere from the 5 to 8 range, and they're going to have to play a top team, play like maybe like a Phoenix or a Clipper or a Grizzly team. And the crazy thing is, you look at the rosters, and you would pick probably the other team if they play like the Suns in the first round or the Clippers in the first round. I'm definitely picking. You would definitely look at both rosters and be like, the Suns and Clippers got them, right? But the crazy thing is, the Mavericks are still in that series solely because of Luka Doncic. Like solely just because Luka Doncic is on the roster, you're kind of guaranteed a 6 or 7 game series. Like this team should maybe win one game against one of those two teams. But with Luka, they actually can have a chance to win that series just because Luka Doncic. I mean, you saw what he did last year and every year in the playoffs so far. 3 years in the playoffs, and Luka Doncic has almost single-handedly beat the Clippers two times in a row. His first year in the playoffs in the bubble, he had that crazy game 5 or game 4 where he went off, and it was a big win in that series. And he literally, if Porzingis doesn't get hurt in that series, the Mavericks might win that series. And then next year they come in, the Mavericks go up 2-0. Tim Hardaway's and all of them are hitting shots, but then the shots start falling, and it's all Luka by himself. And Luka brought them to 7 games against the Clippers, against a healthy Kawhi. It literally took Kawhi Leonard to go like insane to knock out Dallas. And then last year, you know what happened. You know, even without Luka, the Mavericks won 2 games against Utah, and Luka came back and finished off the Jazz. Then they beat the Suns, who were the best team in the league, 68 wins or whatever. And they come out and beat them in 7 and embarrass them in Game 7, beating them by like 50 on their home court. And the Mavericks were literally in the conference finals and in games, even though they did get swept. They were literally in games solely because of Luka Doncic. And so in this playoffs, they're gonna play a tough team in the first round. They're gonna have to play a Suns or Clipper team in the first round. And the crazy thing is that Luka by himself is giving them a chance in that series. Luka by himself is automatically, the series is going at least 6. I feel like with Luka on the team. And then you add Kyrie as well, another guy that performs well in the playoffs, and he can go off and have a 40-point game. Like the Mavericks actually could have a chance to get to the second round and take out a really good team in the first round just because Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are on the roster. Like it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, the Mavericks, I think they're just gonna be okay the second half of the year. Maybe get into the play-in, or fall into the play-in, make their way out eventually, of course. But yeah, it's still gonna take a little bit of time for Luka and Kyrie to adjust to playing with each other, and for the Mavs to adjust to finding what role players fit well with each other and what players fit well with Kyrie and Luka on the court. You know, and just consistency, honestly. Consistency from their players outside of their top 2. It's just the big if. My next one, number 3, a little bit of another kind of weaker one. We're trying to go, well, not the weaker ones, but more of the whatever ones out of the window first. My third one is about LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo Ball is going to have a very strong finish to this season. LaMelo this season, he's averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal, which are very good numbers. The only thing that sucks is that he's missed so many games. The Hornets have played in 60 games, and LaMelo's only suited up 33 of those games. But he has looked very solid. I think LaMelo's going to have a very good end to this regular season. In the last few games before All-Star break, he's played 8 games in February. In those 8 games, he averaged just under 24 points or 8 rebounds, almost 9 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 43% from the field, 38% from 3, 81% from the free throw line. His last 2 games for the All-Star break, against Atlanta in a win, he had 36 rebounds and 15 assists. He had 4 turnovers. I left at 4 blocks. I was like, whoa. And then his last game before the All-Star break against the Spurs, in another one, he had 28, 12, and 10 with the steal. He's had games in February. He had a 24, 9, and 10 game, an 18, 9, and 12. He's on a streak of 4 consecutive games with a double-double. Yeah, his last 4 games: 24, 9, and 10, 18, 9, and 12, 36 and 15, 28, 12, and 10. He had a game February 5th against Orlando. He had 33, 8 and 6 with 4 steals. Even the games before that, he had 23, 8 and 8, 5 steals, 19, 8 and 6. Like, he's been getting on a hot streak. Even the game before that, his last game in January, 27, 10, and 11, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Game January 26th against Chicago, 15, 11, and 8. He's been playing great as of recently, and I think he's going to have a very, very strong finish to this season. I think LaMelo is very good. LaMelo is an all-star level worthy talent. It's just his team is horrible. Team really sucks. And he's missed a lot of time, which sucks. He's missed almost half the season with injuries. So it's really kind of put him off. But LaMelo is very, very good. He's going to turn that Charlotte franchise around. He just needs someone else to come in and help him with it. It was Miles Bridges, but then you know what happened. Which Miles Bridges reportedly said he might be back in March. So Miles Bridges might be back soon. But yeah, LaMelo needs some help over there in Charlotte. Because if not, then he's going to be out of there very soon. If he doesn't get any help. But yeah, I think LaMelo is going to have a very strong finish to this season. And more people are going to be like, oh yeah, I forgot LaMelo was really good, really that good. But people are kind of forgetting that because he plays with the Charlotte Hornets. My next one now this is where we get a little bit better. I personally believe that Russell Westbrook is going to fit in with the Clippers and is going to be good as a Clipper. Russell Westbrook yesterday officially signed his contract with LA, and today you saw there's some videos of him in the gym with the Clippers, and Marcus Morris had a nice exchange, and he just looks happy over there with the Clippers. He's still at home now, just moving across the street. But I think this is gonna be well. This is gonna work well in LA. I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's gonna work well. I think he's in a really good situation. He's got guys like Kawhi and PG to take the load off of him. He doesn't need to go crazy hard, put up 20-point triple doubles every night. He's got so many weapons around him. Guys like Marcus Morris, like Nick Batum, Eric Gordon, Bones, Mason Plumlee, Zubac down low, Terrence Mann. He's got a lot of weapons around that he can kick out to. The Clippers don't really have a share the ball kind of point guard, and Russell Westbrook can do that. He's not a pass first type point guard, but Westbrook definitely can collapse the defense and still make good passes and kick out passes. And I just think his energy, he kind of fits the Clipper vibe. He just kind of fits with like you see him in a Clipper jersey and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I just feel like that works out with him. Yeah, and I think Tyronn Lue's going to bring out the best out of him. Tyronn Lue's become a very good coach with the Clippers. I love him as a Clipper coach. In Cleveland, I wasn't so sure, but in LA, he's really found himself. And I think Russell Westbrook is going to play his best with the Clippers. And I think this is his best chance to win that he's had in a while, So I think he knows too. He has to come out and prove something with this team, and the whole Clipper team honestly has a lot to prove. Like Paul George has a lot to prove. Just a lot of people have a lot to prove with the Clippers. So I think he fits the vibe perfectly. He fits the team very well, and I think this is gonna work. Now, when I say work, I don't mean they're gonna win a championship, even though they have the possibility to, and they're like a dark horse contender for me. But I think it's gonna fit well, and like he goes to the Clippers, and he doesn't look bad, or he doesn't look out of control and out of sorts with the Clipper team. He fits in well with the team, and the team gets better with it. There's my definition of fitting in, and what I think is going to happen with Russell Westbrook. And I hope it does, man. Honestly, I really hope Russell Westbrook does fit in, because I feel like so many people are putting bad stuff on his name that isn't necessary. So I just want Russell Westbrook to come out and prove everyone wrong, man. I really do. Next one, we are going back out east to another team that is trying to play in the play-in. The Chicago Bulls. And I think the Chicago Bulls fall apart the second half of the season. I know it's blunt, but it's just what it is. I mean, the Bulls, I was saying this for a while, the Bulls are just not that good. They've been not good this season. They're very kind of just meh. They're a meh team. They're 26 and 33. They came into All-Star on a 6-game losing streak. after making a bold move of not doing anything at the trade deadline. And the only thing they did this year was pick up Patrick Beverley. But yeah, they didn't do anything at the trade deadline after a lot of the controversy about this team and are they gonna blow it up? Um, and they didn't do anything. They didn't buy, they didn't sell, they just stayed pat. And then they came out and lost games after doing that. So, yeah, this team's just not looking good right now. Just got the news that Alonzo Ball isn't going to be able to play this season, which isn't that surprising, but still. Then Patrick Beverley comes to this team. This team's just not that good, you know? Like, Zach LaVine's been very up and down this season. Vucevic and DeMar have been good, but then after that, they don't really have trustworthy depth, I feel like. Like, Kobe White shows up sometimes. I would assume he's solid. I like Alex Caruso. Patrick Williams has shown some steps, but he has to get more consistent and more comfortable. Um, it's just very weird in Chicago right now. And this team probably should blow it up after this season. Are they going to do it? I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it. But yeah, I think the Bulls are just going to fall apart second half of the year. They're not going to make the play-in. And they're just going to be just like a boring team the second half of the season, no matter what Patrick Beverley says about them knocking out the Lakers, which we're going to talk about the Lakers a little bit later. So stay tuned for that. You know what? We're here right now. Let's do it right now. The LA Lakers. My bold prediction for the second half of the year. The LA Lakers don't make the playoffs. I'm not saying I say they don't make the playoffs. We all know they're 13th right now in the Western Conference. Everyone, a 4-year-old can tell you they're 13th in the Western Conference. 27-32. They're only 2 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the 10th seed, who I'm going to talk about later as well. They've been in this spot for basically the entire season. With how close the West is and how everyone's kind of half game behind each other, this is the perfect situation that if you are 13th, you have an opportunity to climb. But the thing is, they need to do it. Everyone's been talking about the last month and a half, it feels like, about they're only 2 games away, they're only 2 games out, only 2 games, just 2 games. All right, do it then. Let's start happening. You know, they made some big moves at the trade deadline to pick up very good role players to increase the roster very much. And D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, Rui Hachimura, getting out a lot of big contracts and players that weren't really fitting well. And now they got some actual players, and they got a team with LeBron playing as well as any 38-year-old can play. Anthony Davis has shown signs of him going back to former 2020 bubble Anthony Davis. They have the team. They have the team to do it. It's just health. Health really is a big piece. You know, LeBron, been a lot of talk about his foot injuries, about how it's probably going to linger all year, and how he sat out a few games after getting the scoring record because of his foot injury, and how healthy really is it. And then they also gave me hurt his finger, trying to block Shea. That one probably not going to worry about much, but the foot injury is a big problem. And hopefully, you know, there's talk about if he's going to sit out games, have to sit out maybe back-to-backs and stuff because of that foot injury. And then, of course, we all know about Anthony Davis' injury, so we don't even have to explain that one. But yeah, it's really gonna be on health. If LeBron, AD, and the guys can, you know, stay healthy and be a part of this run, and then just winning important games. Honestly, like they gotta beat the Thunder and the Jazz and the Blazers and the Pelicans. They gotta win those games. They can't lose those games because it's only gonna drop you down more. And 2 can turn into 3, can turn into 3.5, can turn into 4. Then all of a sudden, you're stuck in 13th and you're out. You know? So, will they make the play-in? I think they probably could. It's very tough. I think they will make the play-in. I think they will make the play-in. But I don't think they win the play-in. That's my thing. I think if they do make the play-in, they're not going to win it. I think they're going to be outside the playoffs again. Just because it's going to take so much to make the play-in and so much energy for LeBron, AD, and them to even make the play-in. They're going to have to win, not even just make up those 2 games, but then keep winning to keep in that play-in spot. Because even if you do get the 2 wins and get 10th, the Thunder are probably going to be right behind you half game. And then you lose the next one, they win the next one, they're all of a sudden back in it. You know, so not even just making it there, but keeping yourself in there, winning games to keep yourself in that spot, which is going to take so much out of them that when it comes to playing time, you know, it's especially if they're going to be at 9 or 10, they're gonna have to win 2 games. You know, and I mean, if you need someone to win 2 games, LeBron James is one of the top players you want to be on your roster. But still, with all the injuries and stuff that's been piling up and stuff, you just don't want to wear them out. So I don't know. I just don't see them making that playoff push. I see them making the play-in push, but I don't know about the playoffs. Because then again, when you get into the play-in, you're gonna have to play. They might have. There's a chance they're probably gonna have to play. They might have to play Golden State in a play-in game. Um, and I mean, last time, a few years ago, LeBron beat them, but still, I mean, Golden State by that point, Steph probably be back, so that's a whole nother Warrior team. You might have to go against a team like New Orleans, who hopefully will have Zion back. And even without Zion, they are more than capable of winning a game. They beat them. Didn't the Pelicans win without Zion against the Lakers? Did they win that game, or did the Lakers win that game? Actually, I think Lakers won that game. Never mind. Yeah, they're gonna have to go against they probably might have to play a Warrior team, or the Pelicans, or even the Mavericks. Going up against Luka and Kyrie, in one game are some players that I want to have in a one-game elimination scenario. So it's just going to be so tough to do it. It's not impossible by any means necessary. They can go on a 5-game winning streak, and then none of this, what I'm saying, matters. But I just don't see the playoffs. I just don't see them in the playoffs. That's fine. I just don't see them making the playoffs. Yeah, my next prediction, we're staying in the Western Conference for my next prediction. And it's about a team that's competing with the Lakers in the spot. And I actually mentioned just a minute ago, the Golden State Warriors. My prediction for the second half of the year for the Warriors is that they will finish in the top 6 and will get out of the play-in. Is what I mean. Not miss the play-in. Miss the play-in is like 11 through 15. They're gonna make it out of the play-in. That's my prediction. Some good news came out about Steph Curry just a little while ago, yesterday, about him doing, some individual activities, and that he'll be reevaluated in a week, which is a very good sign. And I think if he comes back for this play-in push, the Warriors were kind of hitting their stride a little bit, and we're making it out of the play-in. We're like 5th or 6th with Steph in there. They're making their run, but then Steph gets hurt, and they kind of go up and down. And right now they're 9th in the Western Conference. So I think, of course, Steph there is a huge part. He's their best player, obviously. But I think if Steph comes back and can just keep the Warriors afloat, Jordan Poole, Clay chip in when they need to, and the guys chip in when they need to, this team could definitely finish top 6. They can definitely go on a 4-game winning streak at one point and go from 9th to 6th or 5th, even just like that. But I could just see it in their car. I feel like all the stuff that's been brewing this season, with all the controversy they had to deal with this season, with the start of the year not being good, them not being good on the road, the Steph Curry injuries, and then to somehow still be in this spot where they're like still there. Of course, that's also because all the other Western Conference teams have been kind of in the same spot. But I just get a feeling, I just can see it, that the Warriors can finish top 6, and Steph comes back, and the Warriors go on a good run the second half of the year, and they get in the top 6 and maybe play the Sacramento Kings in the first round, which, what a treat that would be for Sacramento. Sacramento gets top 3. Hey, you've been first time in the playoffs in 16 years, or a 3 seed, and you're going to have to play the Warriors in the first round. It's like, what? We got to play Golden State? That would be a series. But yeah, Warriors, I'm predicting Warriors will not be the play-in. They'll be top 6. 2 more to go. Second to last one, number 9 on here. Kind of a sad one. But something I kind of realized, I think, yesterday or the day before. My prediction, John Wall doesn't get signed by a team. Which isn't probably crazy, but still, I put on here because it kind of saddens me a little bit, John Wall, all the injury problems for the last, 5-ish years have been very terrible. He missed some seasons because of injury. He missed the whole entire last year because he sat out with the Rockets because the Rockets didn't want to play him. And then this year, he was actually playing very solid with the Clippers. And then he gets injured, and the Clippers trade him away, and the Rockets buy him out. And now he's sitting in free agency. And I just look around the NBA right now, look around on teams, and I just don't see any team that John Wall can go to right now that will realistically take John Wall. I mean, the Bucks maybe could be a team. Then again, does John Wall really fit with the Bucks roster? The Bucks, Giannis has the ball on his hands, and if it's not Giannis, it's Jrue Holiday, and if it's not Jrue, it's Chris. Then after those three, where does John Wall really fit in as a guy that kind of needs the ball in his hands to be effective? Because usually there's not usually any times that the entire big three of Drew, Chris, and Giannis are all off the court. Unless they're up by 30 or down by 30, which is rare. But unless they're like in a blowout, like they're usually all three of them on the court together and need the ball in their hands. Especially Drew and Giannis. Well, especially Giannis. So I don't know where John Wall fits in that kind of range with the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, that's really the only like playoff team I can see that kind of needs Miami. I don't think Miami needs him any. Miami said they were focusing more on the big men more than the guards. So I don't know. I would like to see him go to Miami, but I don't think Miami's the spot for him. Out west, the Kings. I don't know. I don't see John Wall as a king, especially they already have De'Aaron Fox. The Mavs were a team that my dad brought up, and I was like, Dallas. Imagine having Luka, Kyrie, and John Wall all on the same team together. Just all scoring guards on their team. Yeah. Minnesota's got Mike Conley now. Yeah, like I don't see a team where John Wall can go to right now where he can actually play. And get real minutes. Like the Nuggets have Reggie Jackson now. Grizzlies, Tyus Jones is one of the best backup point guards in the league. Sacramento, maybe, but then again, I don't know. The Kings run a lot of fast motion shooting. Sabonis and Fox have the ball a lot, so I don't know. Maybe they want to bring John Wall in as a scoring punch just in case they need it. But then again, their offense is already second in the league. They need defense. They don't need any more offense. They need defense. He's just on the Clippers. The Suns have Cam Payne, Chris Paul, and they have a lot of ball-dominant players. Mavs have Luka and Kyrie. The Pelicans, CJ, and then I don't know. They have like Dyson Daniels, Kira Lewis. They got a lot of guards. Back up. Timberwolves got Mike Conley, and then Jordan McLaughlin, Jalen Noel, which maybe he could fit in there. But then again, you want John Wall, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards. You just don't see it. And in the East, again, all the teams that would need him have guards already. So I just don't see a place right now this year where John Wall can go to right now and he can actually play. Unless he wants to go on like a veteran role and just be on the bench, I guess. But I don't see a team where John Wall can go to right now unless it's like a bottom, like a Trailblazers or Jazz or something like that. Like I don't see a playoff team that John Wall can go to right now and play, which really sucks. I really thought this year was gonna be John Wall was gonna come back and tell the world like, hey, I'm just the new John Wall. I'm older, might not be as fast or big, but I can contribute to winning. And it just didn't happen that way. Which really, really sucks, man. But okay, what can you do? Gotta wait for next year, and hopefully John Wall gets picked up at some point. I hope this prediction is wrong, and maybe John Wall does get picked up somewhere. But from what I see, I don't think so. And now my final one. You went a lot quicker than I thought. But my last prediction for the second half of the season. The Oklahoma City Thunder make the play-in. The Oklahoma City Thunder make the play-in. I just really love the Thunder. I really love the Thunder. I think they're built for a run like this, Shea's been playing like a superstar this season. Josh Giddey has shown a lot of improvement. Jalen Williams has been fantastic as a rookie. They got really good role players like Kenrich Williams, the other Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort. Isaiah Joe has become one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Like, they have just so many young, good pieces out there that I feel like this team can go really good, can be really good in the second half. Even in January, ever since 2023, they've become an entirely different team. Yeah, I saw this from StatMuse. Shout out to StatMuse on Twitter. The Thunder since January 1st. The best offensive rating, most points per game, second in net rating, third in three-point percentage, third in steals per game, and they have the fifth easiest schedule left. This is all the pieces are in place for OKC. They just got to take it and play. Be hungry, honestly. Be hungry like they have been all year. They're young, so they probably might make some mistakes. They don't have a lot of players that have been in this type of moment before, in this type of scenario. But this is a chance. This is a learning experience. Go out there. The only way you can get this experience is if you go through it. So I hope they go out there and just play. Just play. How they have been playing for the past 2 months. And if they do that, they can definitely make the play-in. And they'll be a fun team to watch in the play-in because they're a team definitely that doesn't have maybe the talent as like the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, but they play hard and they play like a team, which I love. They a lot of ball movement around them with Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, all of them, handling the ball. And then they got Shea, a star, which really helps in a one-game elimination. Having stars helps a lot. We know Shea is one of the clutchest players in the league. But yeah, I just really like the Thunder. Really like the Thunder. I'm really want to see if they do make the play-in. In my prediction, I think they will make the play-in as a 10 seed. I don't think they're gonna win the play-in, but I think they're gonna make it in there, which is huge for them. Even if they do make it and lose in the first play-in game, like that's still huge for them. Getting a limb, you got a lot of experience and a lot of confidence coming into next year when Chet Holmgren comes back. Yeah, very excited for this Thunder team. But yeah, that's it. Will any of them come true? Probably maybe one or two will happen. But at the end of the day, I'm not taking this too seriously. I'm not rooting for any of these to happen again. I'm just out here, just making predictions, having fun. That's all it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.